Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Stats Don't Lie official YouTube page. This is an interview with head varsity basketball coach Bryce Mitchell. I am your host, Tim Whaley, a.k.a. my kids call me Dad, a.k.a. my friends call me T. Wales, a.k.a. my niece and nephews call me Uncle T. Bryce, what's going on, man? How you doing?
What's going on, T? How you doing, bro?
Hey, man, hanging in there, trying to stay safe and healthy in this world we living in. So I'm just grateful to be here.
Same, man.
Yeah, so let me introduce the viewers to you a little bit. Again, guys, this is head varsity basketball coach at Tallwood High School, my alma mater. That's where I graduated in 2005, and Bryce's alma mater as well. Bryce, when did you graduate?
2010.
2010. Clearly, I'm a lot older, and I'm getting gray hairs, but that's okay. He looks a lot more in shape than me, but we working on that. You know what I'm saying? I got new running shoes the other day. Boy, I'd be out there hitting the pavement. Not like you hit 2 miles today. I saw that.
Yeah.
Listen. So a little bit about Bryce. I want to introduce you guys to him. Again, he is a high school basketball player. He played with Tallwood High School. We're going to talk a little bit about that. He played collegiately at Shenandoah, right? Is that how you say that?
Shenandoah University, yep.
Nice. And then obviously he's now the head coach at Tallwood High School. And we were talking just a little bit ago. He's about to be a father for the first time, correct?
First time, yep.
To a baby girl?
Baby girl, Rain.
Right.
Yep.
Congratulations. And he told me she is due today.
Due today, but nowhere near expecting her today.
Okay. All right. If she comes tonight, do what you got to do. I'll finish this up. Yeah, I'll finish this up
we got
by ourselves. So congratulations to you on that.
Appreciate you,
becoming
bro.
a father. She'll change your life. Trust me.
Yes.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about we're going to start with your high school playing days.
Cool.
So what position did you play?
Freshman year, it's crazy. Freshman year, I played shooting guard for JV. Sophomore year, I'm starting point guard. And then junior year, when I played varsity, and senior year, when I played varsity, I was playing pretty much both until my senior year. And then senior year was mainly just shooting guard.
Nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the Stats Don't Lie podcast, right? So I want to hear some stats, Bryce. I want to hear some stats. What did you do in high school? What were you averaging in high school? How many dudes did you dunk on? I saw you dunking at the something in the water festival. Don't play me. I know you were dunking on some cats. So give me some stats.
Well, first thing, I never got a dunk in high school. I was close. Junior year, I had just started earning a little bit more playing time. We played Kellen. We blew them out. And at the end of the game, I'm in there in the fourth quarter, and I had a wide open layup. And the guy comes up from behind and kind of like fouled me on purpose so I wouldn't dunk it. And I was gathering to dunk it. And the referees called nothing. It was like 5 seconds left, and I was going to do it just because. So I was close to having a dunk, but I never got one in high school. But high school basketball, Tallwood, my senior year was obviously my best year. I started every game at the 2, played with a really good team. We went, I think, 23-6. We made it to the second round of regionals, lost to Phoebus. We actually beat Great Bridge first round of regionals against Briante Weber, who played played in the NBA for a little bit, and he played at DCU. I think now he's playing for the G League. So we beat him. My senior year team, we were really tight. We were very diverse, but we were also very balanced. I averaged about 6 points a game my senior year. Our leading scorer probably averaged about 10 points a game, and our starting 5 kind of just balanced out through there between 8 to 6 points a game. But I was a defender, man. I was a lockdown defender. I took pride in my defense. To this day, I always say I was probably one of the best defenders that ever played basketball in Virginia Beach. I don't care what nobody says. And I'll put money on that. One of the best on-ball defenders ever. And I take pride in that, and I try to instill that in my players now, taking pride in defense. But yeah, stats-wise, man,
Nice.
6
that's something.
Go ahead.
No, sorry for the delay, but that's something that is tough to instill in young players, right? Defensively, obviously, everybody wants to score and be on the ball, and they want to be that guy that's putting up 20 a game, and all that stuff. So I get that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but going into my second year of coaching is definitely going to be something I'm going to focus on.
Good deal. Who was your coach when you were in high school?
Freshman year, JV was Roger Jernigan. May he rest in peace. He died a couple of years ago. Coach Jern, everybody called him Pop Jern. And then my sophomore year for JV was Rob Bynum. He's not coaching at Tallwood anymore. And then obviously the guy that I took over for after he retired, Coach Gonzalez, he was the varsity coach, and I played for him my last 2 years there. Yep.
Nice. So you had, 3 different coaches while you were there?
Yep, 3 different coaches. Yep.
Good. So who were some of your mentors, like, as you were playing, whether it be athletes that you grew up idolizing as a player, or just people in your life, coaches, teammates, people like that kind of influenced you in those days?
Coach Gonzalez and I were really close. He had me as a team captain my senior year, and he kind of like just instilled in me those leadership values that I try to used in my life now. So Coach G and I, we were really tight. But I will never forget my sophomore year. James Shamley, he played at Tallwood. I think my freshman year, no, when I was in 8th grade, he was a senior. I'm pretty confident. And he had a pretty good career. I think they won. He was on that team that won the regional title years ago with Coach Mitt as the head coach.
Right.
And James Shamley came back, and he was an assistant coach for the JV team, and he kind of helped mentor me throughout that season, my sophomore year, and then he continued to come around my junior year, the senior year after he stopped coaching. So he had a big influence on me, and I tell him all the time whenever I talk to him, but that's somebody that's kind of like nobody really sees anymore. But I always try to make it known to him like he had a big influence on me when I was playing ball.
Good deal. Yeah, it's important. I mean, one of the things that we'll talk about a little bit later when we talk about you being as a coach is having that mentor in your life. And I see when I've been to I think probably 8 games probably this year of y'all's, and I can tell that's something that these young kids are looking up to. Like I can tell that you're influencing them in a positive way, which is awesome. Speaking of it looks like we got some comments in the comment section. Myron, is that the Myron I'm thinking about? Tall Myron? Rebel Myron? No, is that the same dude? Different dude?
I don't know about Tall Myron. They one of our JV. One of our JV players this past season.
Oh, my bad, Myron. And then Anthony Mitchell as well.
That's bro. What up, Ant?
And then, of course, families chiming in as well. That's my mother, who just called herself Mama Wales, live on YouTube for the world.
What's up, Mom?
So what's up, Mama Wales? All right. So from high school, you transitioned to college, right?
Yeah.
So what was that process like? The recruiting process, getting recruited, getting looked at. I mean, you said you only averaged 6 points a game, so I'm sure it wasn't one of those things where coaches were clamoring and you were a big D1 guy. So how was that recruiting process like for you?
Layla, what's up? Brian, I see you. What's up, Makai? In high school, I knew I was going to go play D3. All right, I knew I was going to go play D3. I was one of those guys, like, I wasn't going to ODU. I wasn't getting no scholarship, but I was happy with it. I just wanted to go play college basketball, and I also wanted to get away from Virginia Beach. I had some maturing that I needed to do.
Sure.
So I wanted to get away from Virginia Beach. I could have gone to Virginia Wesleyan. Virginia Wesleyan has a very successful basketball program. 2 of my best friends went to Virginia Wesleyan that started with me my senior year. Could have gone there, could have went to the NCAA tournament every year, could have gotten banners hung up and whatnot, but I needed to get out of the area. So me and my brother Byron, one of the triplets, he was getting recruited for football by Shenandoah. And the football coaches told them about me, and I sent them a tape of my best game in high school, where I had 26 points in the Virginia Preps Classic. And it was a good day for me, trust me. It was a very good day.
Hey, as long as you got it on video, that's all that matters.
I still got it on DVD. Don't even worry.
I need a copy.
Still got it. I got you. But, the coach then was Rob Harris at Shenandoah, and he reached out to me and said he liked my tape and he wanted to offer me. I had a couple other Division IIIs that were kind of like talking to me a little bit. I think the highest level I had was Division II from Fayetteville State. They talked to Coach G after that Virginia Preps game when I went off in that game. But Shenandoah seemed like the perfect fit. 4 hours away. I call it a little big city, Winchester, Virginia, which is like a second home to me now. It was like kind of like in the middle of nowhere, but once you get into city, it's kind of like the city feel. The city's kind of in the middle of nowhere. Well, me and Byron went up there and we loved it. I loved playing basketball there 4 years. Got my degree there, got my master's from there as well. Got married up there, met my wife there, and now it's like a second home. Like I said, I can go up there, stay people's homes if I need to. I know players up there. I coached up there, so it was a good move. It was a really good move. But the recruitment process was fun, just talking to college coaches.
Good. Yeah, I mean that's important. Obviously, that you have some kind of connections with that college as well. Obviously, for your athletes also. So that's good. I was going to ask you to give me some memories about Shenandoah, but you just went ahead and did it. So I appreciate that. You got married there, you said, right?
Got married in Winchester, Virginia. Yep. Lived
in the
up
mountains. Does it have a lot of mountains? You up there in the mountains? Nice.
I mean, it's like I was climbing those mountains. I won't do all that. No. I'll do all that.
Hey, for everybody that's tuning in, and we appreciate it. We see you guys. We see your comments. So we'll get to some of your questions. It looks like we already do have a question, and we'll get to that at the end. I was going to ask this question. I'm glad somebody else brought this up. So we're definitely going to get at you with that. All right. So from college, you transitioned to becoming a coach. Were you a head coach? Were you an assistant coach?
No. When I graduated from Shenandoah, I joined the Shenandoah coaching staff. I thought I wanted to coach college basketball, so I did that for 1 year. Loved Shenandoah to death. Loved the coach that I coached under, but didn't like being a college basketball coach. The traveling on the road, recruiting, getting back late, literally dozing off behind the wheel at 3 a.m. coming from a game, seeing a kid in northern Pennsylvania, and doing the Division III level. You got to have a passion for it, right? Because you're driving all over the place and you're up all night, and it just wasn't for me. But I knew I wanted to continue to coach. So a year later, I became the head middle school coach at Daniel Morgan Middle School in Winchester.
Okay.
And then the year after that, I became an assistant coach at John Hanley High School, which is the high school that Daniel Morgan feeds into. So I joined that coaching staff. That's why I first got my high school coaching career started under head coach Jason Toten up there. Great coach in the state of Virginia.
Nice. So what was the hardest transition for you from coming from middle school kids, right? Because my son's in middle school, or getting ready to be in middle school, and one of my nephews is in middle school now. So I know the difference as far as maturity and things like that. But as far as adapting your coaching style and stuff like that from middle school to high school, how difficult was that for you?
It really wasn't difficult. I found myself in a lucky situation because I was at the middle school, but the head varsity coach at the high school had such an influence on what we were doing at the middle school because it's only one middle school and one high school in Winchester. So he was, basically coming in. He hired me, right? Me. So he was like coming to tell me like, yo, this is what I want you to run. This is what I want you to do. He helped me pick the middle school team. And I was all for it because I thought that's how it should be. He's going to be your players in the future. And then we pretty much had a bond with the high school. So like I was in the high school practices. I was going to the high school games. I knew those high school players. And then when the middle school season was over, he automatically brought me up to the high school on the high school staff. And I sat the bench the second half of the season that year. And I got to know the high school players a little more. So in terms of, the transition, I mean, definitely the high school players are a lot more mature. Middle school players, some of them are kind of like, they're like kind of butt kisses a little bit, man. Like they want next to the coach. They want to try and meet the team and all that stuff. I worked in that middle school, so I got to be there with them. So that was pretty cool too.
Good deal. And you work at Tallwood as well?
No, I'm a PE teacher at Larkspur Middle School.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
How do you like that? That's what I wanted to do.
I love it.
That's what I'm here hosting a podcast. I'm in insurance, right? Which is not ideal, but it works. But I wanted to be a PE coach, a PE teacher. To me, waking up every morning and putting on gym shorts, bro, that's the life.
It's a lot easier than putting on khakis every day, bro.
Hey, you're not lying, man. You're not lying. All right. So then you transitioned your way over to Tallwood, right? Your alma mater. How did that opportunity come to head for you?
Hey, Pops. I see you, Pops. What's up, Pop? What up, Mom? I see them. They made a comment.
What's up?
So coming from Winchester, and then joining the staff at Tallwood. That's what you're asking about.
Yeah. How was that? How was the transition? How did the job come open for you? Who said, "Yo, Bryce, you should come over"?
Well, I reached out to Coach Gonzalez before I moved back down, so I knew after the wedding we were moving down here. My wife got a job at Norfolk General she's a nurse. She's not a Norfolk General anymore, but she got a job there. I got a job at Larkspur, so perfect situation. We just came on down. I called Coach G and told him. He said he had a spot. He had an extra spot that had a coach, and I think he knew that I wanted to become a head coach, and obviously being at Tall was where I wanted to be more than anything.
Right.
And I knew he was on his way out. I knew he probably had about 2 more years, which it was exactly 2 years until he left, because I came in 2017. But it was the hardest thing was trying to establish yourself, but I needed to do it through getting to know the guys. Yeah. Like, I couldn't come in there guns blazing, cussing kids out, firing at them all day, and they don't know me, right? The assistant coach at the time was Kaleo Kina, who's still an assistant coach with me.
Right? Yeah.
And he kind of helped me out. He got the guys to get to know me. And I think he knew as well. He knew I was coming in kind of like looking to take over once Coach G, because he wasn't looking to be a head coach. And he knew I graduated from there. So he really helped me out with that, trying to get to know the kids. And once I got to know them, we really started making a connection. And I think building that relationship first before you really start getting into them. I mean, I was coaching them, but it was a little more laid back at the start, just trying to get to know them, get a good feel for them and all.
Right. And for those of you who don't know, I also coach at Tallwood High School. I'm the JV baseball coach. And it was one of those things for me, obviously coming back home to walking in the Commons area, right, knowing that I have an interview with people who were working at the school when I went there, right? And then they're seeing my face saying, whoa, welcome back. How was in the interview process? It felt like, I was just talking to an old guidance counselor and an old, assistant principal, whatever the case is. How was the interview process for you? How did that go? What did they say? What did they like? What did they not like?
Believe it or not, bro, the interview process when I got the head coaching job was actually nerve-wracking. I mean, I was 2 years. I was an assistant for 2 years, and then I got the head coaching job. So last year was my third year there, my first year as a head coach. And honestly, man, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous, and I usually don't get nervous. Like, I'm not the type to be nervous about a lot of things. But during the interview, like, there was a couple questions I kind of was like, and I was like, dang, man, like, you can't do that. But it was also a little weird too, because I was in the interview with an assistant principal who was a math teacher when I was there, the athletic director who was the athletic director when I was there, and then one of the players. They let one of the players help participate in the interview, which I've never seen before. And I was coaching him the last 2 years as an assistant. So it was weird because it's kind of like I wanted to dap the player up, but I'm like, nah, I can't do that because I'm in an interview. So I gotta treat him the way I'm treating the principal and the athletic director, which is weird because I was just probably cussing him out like a couple weeks ago in workout. So that was weird. But I mean, I guess it did something right because they gave me the job. So
yeah. Well, I think this is a good time for a question. It looks like Brittany Barnes asked a question there that coaches are so informative for high school students. So how are you connecting to your students? How are you connecting to your student athletes during obviously a time like this with this pandemic, going on where the kids are not in school anymore and we're not doing workouts and we're not doing team activities. So how are you connecting with your student athletes during this time?
Well, we got a group chat with the varsity team. We have a group chat that I'm always blowing their phones up. And I know it could probably be annoying to them, but I don't really care because I got to stay in contact with them. And I'm always giving them calls. I'll give them, a couple guys a call every now and then, and I'll make sure I hit every single one of them. I've called a couple guys multiple times already, just seeing how they're doing. I'm always staying on them about their schoolwork. I'm sending text messages out. I'm in the school system, even though I'm not at Tallwood. So I know what's going on. I know how they can access their work. I know who to call and who to email if I need to help them with something. And I tell them all the time, you need something, you need help. A teacher's not getting back to you, hit me up. I will send the email. I'll get that info for you, which I've definitely done. And then tomorrow night we have a Zoom session, which we're going to do a little check-in with each other, just seeing how guys are doing. I'm going to introduce our off-season workout to them I didn't put it together. The football coaches put it together, but I kind of manipulated it a little bit. And I'm going to get that to them tomorrow night during the Zoom session. Then we got a guest speaker. So I pretty much kind of just text them a lot, just seeing how they're doing. I follow pretty much all of them on social media. They're always doing something. So I'm always looking at the Instagram stories.
Yeah, that's something that I do too. I mean, keeping up on social media nowadays it's one of the most
important things. People think it's a bad thing. People think it's a bad thing. I don't see it as a bad thing. I think it's a good way to connect with them.
Absolutely. Let's see. So any other my beautiful, wonderful, supportive girlfriend who has allowed me this corner in the house and supports me doing the podcast in the living room. She said congratulations on being a daddy soon. So there's another one. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
And moving kind of into that a little bit. Are you scared? Are you nervous? What are you feeling?
No, I'm cool. Look, my mom and dad raised 4 boys. Set of triplets, and the older one is 3 years older than us. And
wow. And that's Brandon, right?
That's Brandon, but my dad has a son too, by somebody else. His name's Anthony, and he's older than us. I mean, my parents did such a great job, and I look to them for support still, but still like just
money, no problem.
Yeah,
I can raise you. I can put you in Jordans and a jersey and a diaper and let you run around the house. I got this. When my daughter came, boy, I was not ready. Ready. She changed my life.
That's what everybody says. Change your life.
I'm sure she'll do it to you too.
Hopefully, yeah, for sure.
Hopefully here pretty soon, man. Pretty soon. I'll definitely put a picture up when you put something up to let everybody know so they can say congratulations.
Appreciate it,
bro. So let's talk a little bit, go back a little bit and talk about being a mentorship. Describe, I know you talked a little bit about, having to get to know your players first before you can come in and start cursing them out or yelling at them. Because coaching basketball is a little bit different. It's a different mentality than coaching baseball, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I coach baseball, it's a lot of, staying behind the scenes. I'm not up on the sideline like you are. I'm not walking up and down, right? Which is probably why you're in shape and I'm more of a shape right now. But it's a little bit different of a mentality from a baseball perspective to coaching basketball. So what's your relationship like with your players? What do you feel like you've done the best at? What do you feel like you can maybe improve on to just continue to get better?
Derek Summers, what up, boy? It's one of my guys right there and said, "What's up, coach?"
What's up? He's saying, "What's up to me or you?" Me.
Probably both. One thing that I would say is I don't look at my guys as like they're my sons. A lot of coaches, are older and they're like, well, when we were playing, there's a lot of young coaches now. I mean, I got a job when I was 27. Well, I am 27, so I'm 28 into this month. But I don't look at them as like they're my kids. I look at them as if like they're my little brothers. And I got 2 managers and I look at them as like little sisters. So there's that level, and sometimes it can get a little awkward sometimes because, you don't want to cross no lines. You don't want them to cross their lines, and you don't want to cross the lines as well. You want to still establish that coach-player, right, relationship. But I still try to like approach it as like a, what's going on with you? How you doing today? We talk about things. I talk to some of them about their girlfriends, talk to them about grades, and all that stuff. So I try to be more of a big brother than a father because I'm not at that age where they would even be my kids, for real.
Right.
If that was even possible. But I kind of look at them as like little brothers and little sisters for my managers, and I kind of approach it that way. And this past season, we had our lumps. We had a lot of adversity that we had to go through. We had issues in practice. I kicked them out of practice a couple of times. I kicked players out of practice. We didn't win a lot of games, but we were rebuilding. I knew I had to rebuild this year. That I did expect us to do a lot better than we did. However, it's okay. Everybody had a learning experience this year in Tallwood basketball. Everything was brand new for everybody. First year head coach, I had nothing but, my leading scorer was a junior, my next leading scorer was a freshman, and third leading scorer was a freshman. So we're young. We had seniors that really didn't play because my core group were all young. Dewan, Tristan, what's going on? A couple of my young guys right there. And I knew I was going to build with young talent. So in terms of that, I wanted to make sure I could connect with those guys. So, I watched them when they played Future League. I started contacting their parents, like, make sure Dewan guys can work out. Make sure Tristan can work out. You know what I'm saying? All summer long so we can get to know each other better because I knew, like, I was going to take those sophomores and they were going to be on varsity. And they were going to get their butts kicked for a year.
Yeah.
That's what happened so that we can learn together. Because it's not just them. Tyler Lives, what up, boy? It's not just them learning. It's also me learning. But It's not, it's not easy, but nothing in life is easy. It's not easy being like a young head coach trying to mentor high school guys who you follow on social media. And, some of them probably look at me like, coach is just like me. It could be a good or a bad thing. They could probably look at me as an equal, or they can look at me as a mentor. I will hope more as a mentor, but I don't shy away from, the fact that, I'll dap them up, give them a hug. Some coaches don't do that. I'll, drive, I'll go to their house to check up on them. I've done that for a couple of my guys. I'll pick them up. I'll give them a ride to practice if I have to. Like, I want them to know I care, because I do truly care. And I think that's one of the biggest things right there, to show that you care.
Yeah, and that's what Coach Justin Baird, who's the varsity coach on the baseball side of things as well. I mean, this is both of our first years, coming into the program. Justin's been there as a JV coach for a while, so they kind of already know him. But this is my, introductory year. So I wanted to kind of pick your brain, see what worked for you, see what didn't, and all that kind of stuff. But I kind of treat it the same way, just, as because the last regime and the regimes before that, are different than what we are coming in. So
everything's changing. Everything's changing. Hey, mom. I said hey to you earlier, mom. You just wasn't
yeah, you did.
I love you.
What's up, mom?
You're right though, man. And one of the things that I pay attention to is, and it's no knock to any coaches that are older. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. Like, I think there's a lot of coaches that are still around. Like, I'll just talk about basketball, Virginia Beach. There's the older coaches. They're like the successful coaches right now. I mean, the head coach at Lansdowne, he's one of the most successful coaches. Love you too, Derek, my guy. And he's one of the most.
Derek, what number is Derek?
Derek Summers, number 21 for us. He'll be a rising senior. Funny guy, man. That is the funniest kid on the team. My God, he is funny. God, he is a clown. But your older coaches, man, it's cool. Like, they're great mentors. And they got that old school vibe to them. But it is trending in a different direction now. I think we're in the middle of it going in the direction of hiring younger coaches to relate more to the kids. But don't get it twisted. In Virginia Beach, there are some coaches that are older. I'm talking about the head coach at Green Run, Coach Harris, Coach Robinson at Lansdowne. I mean, GOATs. I mean, state championship winning coaches. But, Coach Robinson, he got the head coaching job at Lansdowne when he was like 25 or something like that. And, he built his program. And it's not really about me. I'm not, like, trying to be that guy that says, I want 5 state championships. I don't care about that. If I see my guys go off to play college basketball or go to college and be successful, I'm good.
That's cool. All it's about, yeah.
Yeah, but the process of trying to win only helps them learn, because then you're trying to win in life. So then you take what we're trying to do here, you come to practice, you prepare, game, you're successful. And then later on, when you're done with basketball, you got to interview. What you got to do? Prepare, boom, you're successful. That's what it's all about. When you buy into that, the wins come. The wins will come.
That reminds you, I was watching the Michael Jordan documentary yesterday, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they were asking him about if he had a gambling problem. And he said, no, I got a competition problem. Right?
Competition problem.
That's everybody. I don't care if we're playing cards. If I'm playing Mario Kart with my son, like, everybody's like, why don't you ever let your son? Why don't you ever let him win? Why don't you ever let the kids win? Because it teaches them that if they get something, they're gonna earn it, right? And they're gonna know that if they beat dad, they beat dad. Or same thing on the court or on the baseball field. Like, if you do something right or you do something and you're getting recognized, you're gonna know that you earned that. And it wasn't just given to you. So I like that. I like that a lot. I don't know his name, but I'm gonna give him a shout out, because he is my favorite player on your team, and I believe he was a senior this past year, right?
Okay.
And every game we came to, but whenever there was a momentum swing, it was because of this guy. Number 4, what's his name?
Darian Henderson.
That's your defensive player of the year or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's our defensive
player
of the year.
This guy came out and disrupted every ball handler, every person that thought there were some guys on the other teams that were dropping buckets at some point in different games. And you were like, no, time out. Come here. You put number 4 on the floor, and it was like, whoop, momentum change. Y'all went on an 8-0 run, 10-0 run. So I just want to give him a shout out. I mean, that's my favorite player on y'all's squad as of now. I know he's leaving, so I'm going to have another one next year.
He definitely brought that spark, and he came around during the off season. And he bought into his role, man. I told him, like, I'm gonna tell you straight up, bro. You ain't about to be on offense dribbling the ball on the perimeter. I'm sorry,
right.
It's not gonna happen. Not for me. Not for me. And if you got it, tell me now, I'm not gonna keep you, but I can definitely use you in some spot minutes. And he ended up really, turning it up for us, man. We was playing against Grassville High School. We lost that game, but that third quarter we played was probably the best third quarter defensively all season for us. And when he played at the top of the 1-2-2, I mean, he disrupted every.
Yeah, when he's at the top of the key like that, he disrupts everything for sure. All right, so that's coaching. That's as a player. We got all that stuff out of the way. So I just want to say, obviously, I'm going to be following you closely. I'm going to be following the team closely moving forward. Everybody that's commenting and following all the players, I appreciate y'all. I will see y'all next year when this pandemic's over, and I'll be your biggest supporter, I promise. So good luck to you guys in the future for sure. But let's talk sports. This is a Stats Don't Lie podcast, right? And I have a saying. First of all, I'm just going to ask a question now. My sister asked it, right? Are you a wrestling fan? Do you watch wrestling?
No, I don't. I'm not a wrestling fan.
That's all right. That's right. You're a grown man. That's probably why you don't watch wrestling. I, unfortunately, have a collection of wrestling figures behind me. So
ain't nothing wrong with it, man. They knocking you. Do your thing.
Look, anyway, you ever look? So DX is saying, right? If you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you. You know the rest, hopefully. Yeah. If not, that's a saying on this podcast, the Stats Don't Lie podcast. I don't argue opinion, right?
Yeah.
If you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you. Bring stats. Right? That's what we're about on this podcast. We talk stats. So if you want to tell me that Tom Brady is the best quarterback of all time, you and I talked about it earlier. We'll bring stats to the table. We'll start talking about what kind of running backs you play with and things like that. So that's what we do on this podcast. So you're an Eagles fan, correct?
Eagles fan, yes, sir.
How long have you been an Eagles fan?
Probably since I was 10, since I started playing Madden when I was younger.
With Mike Vick on the cover? I was playing when Madden was on the cover.
Nah, I was. You know what I'm saying? God, nah, man. I was playing. I'm talking about when Donovan McNabb was the quarterback, Freddie Mitchell, Todd Pinks, and all those guys.
I got you. Look, I'm not that old, all right? I'm only 32, but I am old, man. All right? But still, I was still playing when Madden was on the cover. So you're Eagles fan. What other sports teams do you follow? Basketball, who's your team in basketball?
So NBA, if I had to say, I'm a Wizards fan. I like the Wizards. But NBA wise, I mean, I'm one of those guys. I kind of follow superstars. Not follow like I like them, but more like I just watch those games. I really don't care too much about NBA. College basketball is where it's at.
Okay.
I was a college basketball fan. I love VCU. Love VCU basketball. Love Texas basketball. And
Shaka Smart, right?
Yeah, that's my guy. Love Shaka
Great
Smart.
Great head coach.
Yeah, I got a chance to meet him a couple years ago at his basketball camp. Yeah. And I kind of like watching different coaches. Obviously, the most successful coaches, Mike Krzyzewski, Coach K, you know what I'm saying, Coach Wright at Villanova. So I love watching those teams. I love it because college basketball, they play hard, they're playing for a purpose, and the head coaches are phenomenal. They're coaching for a purpose. So I love watching college basketball.
And they call travel too.
They call travel.
It's just always a good thing. All right, baseball. Who's your baseball team? Got a baseball team?
I'm not a huge baseball fan, but the Washington Nationals, I would probably say them.
Local. See, I'm not a local guy. I was born in Ohio, so I was raised to know no Ohio teams are good, so don't like any Ohio teams, right? Like the Bengals and Browns, and like don't do it. So I'm a Braves fan. I am a Mavericks fan. Luka.
Mavericks? Okay.
Shout out to Luka, Man,
he's about to be a beast.
Look, man, I was a Mavericks fan when it was, Steve Nash and Dirk in their heyday, going against the Kings and Doug Christie and Mike Bibby and all them cats. You know what I mean?
Yes,
sir. That was the best days of basketball.
I was watching. Those were different, man. Those were different.
Oh, Jay Will hitting the pass behind the back with the elbow,
Yeah, those were the best days. Man. way better than now. Way better.
More competitive.
We are definitely getting old talking like this, but yes, way better than that.
Look, all your players that are tuned in right now, y'all need to go back. You're on YouTube already. Just go up to the search bar, type in Jason Williams. Type in those Kings.
Type in Peja Stojakovic.
Oh,
Peja Stojakovic.
Lights out.
Yeah.
Lights out. Lights out shooter.
Didn't miss.
All All right, so let's go back to the Eagles. I told you we were going to talk about this. I have said on the pod, I'm not a supporter of y'all's recent draft pick, second round draft pick. But look, it's just from an outside perspective, right? I'm only looking at it as y'all drafted a backup in the second round, which is cool because Carson Wentz gets hurt a lot, but it's a kind of a big investment in the draft. So the Jalen Hurts Eagles pick, what did you think about it?
So this is what people aren't getting. Okay, you get the best of both worlds. You get a backup who, isn't proven yet, but pretty solid, in college. And people can say what they want about how he passed in college. I mean, nobody thought Dak Prescott would do what he's doing, right? When he was at Mississippi State, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Jalen Hurts was way better than Dak Prescott in college. I mean, why can't he do the same thing? And then so you got a backup for a quarterback who gets hurt all the time, who I love. I love Carson Wentz to death, but he does get hurt.
Right.
You draft this guy, and the way the game is played is changing. So look at Taysom Hill. Obviously, they use him in different scenarios. I mean, that guy is a beast. He can play every single position.
Yeah, right? and at $10 million a year.
Yeah, that's nice. You get a guy like Jalen Hurts, and now you open things up. And don't forget, he's on a team that likes to go for it on fourth down. Remember that. We go for it on fourth down wherever we're at. Yeah. It doesn't matter. We just go for it, right? So we go for it on fourth down a lot. Now you're able to manipulate things because you have to plan for it. You have to plan for it. You have to plan for Carson Wentz, and you have to plan for Jalen Hurts. So when you get that element right there, it's hard. Like, you don't know what's going to happen, right? So you get the best of both worlds. You get a guy that can make your offense diverse, and then you got a guy who you're like, okay, if Carson Wentz does go down again, and we really don't want this to be our future, the future's right here.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, you need a good backup, and the game is changing. So now you got, like I said, you got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see Jalen Hurts being one of those guys that, is versatile. I don't know if he's as athletic as Taysom Hill, but he is athletic.
No, I wouldn't say that. Taysom Hill is probably one of the most athletic
guys in the league, right? And he's almost like a Christian McCaffrey guy without getting that kind of recognition. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is a beast, first of all. He's one of my favorite players. But, I mean, I don't see Jalen Hurts being that tight, but putting him in the backfield with Carson Wentz and having him as that security blanket, I get it. But was it worth the second-round pick? We'll see.
We're going to see. I mean, I tell people all the time on Facebook, I screenshot everybody. People better hope.
Oh, I do that all the time.
You better, because some people put me out when the Eagles lost in the playoffs. Some people put me out there. I said, man, y'all better hope he's not good because I'm about to post everything y'all was saying a couple months ago, man. I can't wait.
Word. Let's see. The kids say hi. What's up? I'm gonna say what's up to my niece and my nephews that call me Uncle T, not T Wales. They call me Uncle T. Jackson, Braden, Ella, Rylan. What's up, guys? Love y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
What's up?
Yeah. So let's do a little. We'll call it a pick'em here. Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan.
Just say it. Jordan or LeBron? Jordan,
for sure.
Hey, bro. After this documentary, it's hard to say anything.
Yeah, come on. LeBron,
it's hard to say anything else for real.
LeBron screwed after this. He screwed after that documentary.
Donovan McNabb or Carson Wentz?
Donovan McNabb. That's my guy.
Hey, he took y'all to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I was gonna do some baseball ones. You're not a huge baseball fan, so we'll stay away from that. Peja Stojakovic or Steph Curry, sorry.
Steph Curry. Oh, God. Steph Curry is different.
He is different. He's on a totally different level.
Very different. Save the game.
Catch and shoot, though. That's all Peja did.
Yeah, but, boy, I tell you what. In the corner, hat mug was on it.
Wet.
I remember them days. That Kings team, man. People forget about them. That was the team.
It's because they always had to go through the Lakers.
Yeah.
Or the Mavericks.
Mike Bibby, Doug Christie, Peja, Chris Webber. Vlade Divac. Right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
those are the days.
Yes.
Well, listen, man. We're gonna wrap things up. It's been a pleasure getting to know you a little bit more. I know we've seen each other out there during your games and everything like that. So I appreciate you being the first official interview on the Stats Online podcast. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Good.
You're doing well, man. You're doing well.
Awesome.
I definitely appreciate you inviting me.
Thanks, man. Absolutely. And I look forward to where you take this Tallwood basketball program. I'm super excited to be a part of it, at least a little bit a part of it. And I can't wait to continue to watch you guys grow and watch how successful you're going to be as a head coach. So, again, I appreciate your time. Bryce, if you ever need anything, you know I'll be around, my man. Just let me know.
Appreciate you, man. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. My guy.
Yeah, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Again, this has been the first interview on the Stats Don't Lie podcast with Bryce Mitchell, the head varsity basketball coach at Tallwood High School. Follow the Stats Don't Lie podcast on Instagram at SDL Pod and on Facebook at SDL Pod and on YouTube as well. So, again, I don't argue opinion. And if you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you. Bring stats. Guys, stay safe, stay inside, stay healthy. We love y'all. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, Bryce.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, boy.
Later, man.